Hey everyone, so today we are here working on the John Deere baler. This is a 347 and the rim said it's about an 83 or an 84. Every now and then you've got to do regular maintenance on your equipment. So last year we kind of fixed up the bearings in here. They were making noise. I could hear it, you know, chugging from the house while my father-in-law was out in the hayfield. And at the very end of last season, we grease everything and take care of everything. It just stopped. So my husband and I went out with that new little wagon that we got and the Dodge, and we pitchforked out the last row or so. It was the wagon full and the Dodge load full, and I think another pickup load. So it's hay season. We're making hay. We're trying to make hay. One of the things we do is we've got this old pool. You got to tarp it over because it always leaves two bales in it. It never comes out all the way. So you cover up your old bale that's left behind, and that sits in there. I'm sure there's ways to get them all out. But we don't use a kicker wagon or anything like that. It just comes out onto this little table and drops to the ground. And then the stack wagon comes through and picks them up. So husband had to take it apart bit by bit to find out what the problem was. And if you're handy, and if you're not, you'd better get handy. If you're going to do farming, this stuff, you're working on it at night, you're working at it on the weekend. So we started taking it apart, and these old tines get pretty worn, and some of them were broke right off. Let me show you what happens when they break off. See, it's a spring on each side with this tooth, and that tooth picks them up, picks up your row of hay. So it just breaks right off. It gets so old. Now, a used hay baler right now is going for about $1,000 used on Craigslist right now for, I think it was called a Model 47, which is quite a bit older than this. So he's got, looks like about 10 or 15 of these taken off. He said they were about what, 250, 280? 247 straight from John Deere for replacements. Okay, so he's already got them unbolted. He was saying we might have to pick up some new bolts. You know, it doesn't hurt. Sometimes getting that old bolt off can be a lot of work. So he was able to get them all off. You can see he's got a block here to block this so that it doesn't turn on him. And what he found out had happened, this cast piece here, there's bearings here, so he ordered 6 new bearings for these.
And rivets, they rivet in.
Oh yeah, they rivet right in. And it had actually worn through right here. So this should not be sitting right here like that. It should be sitting on this ridge. It's hard because the sun's there. See that? Broke right out of there, so it couldn't go. So we looked up about finding some used parts and finding new parts, and I looked up on Craigslist trying to find him a used baler just so that he could buy a salvage piece. So he went over to the John Deere place, and there's several near us. You know, we're amongst lots of farming communities. So these are the bearings for the ends, and there's the new rivet. That's real nice.
Perfect. These are shear bolts for that baler. Go in the flywheel.
Okay.
This is the new cam.
Yep, and the part that we broke, it's cast. It's called a cam.
They wear through.
So it was only a little bit more to buy a brand new one than to buy a used one that was worn.
There's 20 of those in there.
And here, look at that, brand new and green, not yellow.
Yep.
This part too. The new one's yellow. And I had looked up online.
The pickup on a new John Deere baler is green, and I don't think they've changed this part at all.
Yeah,
so
in all those years.
This stuff's coming in green in parts now.
Mm-hmm. So interchangeable for years and years. I had actually looked up online, and it only took them 2 days to get this in for us. So that was fine because with work and everything, it was going to probably get put off till the weekend to put it back together anyway.
These bearings are a hex in the middle. If you go look at the drive shaft on the pickup, it's shaped like a hex.
Oh yeah.
So
and where does this go?
These are the same.
The bearings on
they
the
go
end?
On the end, the drive shaft
Oh.
goes to the middle. So,
yeah, right there.
you can see the shaft in the middle and on the other end better.
Yeah. So these weren't showing signs of wear, but he said you've got it this far apart. It's better to just do this maintenance now than to have to take this out again later. Because, you know, once you get into your haying season, you've got to have your equipment going. So to avoid a tear down again later, had I known about this, I would have painted it for him, but it's just fine how it is. It's a working piece of equipment. This is 34 years later, and it's just a great piece of equipment, and it is not something that we had to go into debt for. We're not making payments on it. So we always keep that in mind when we're looking at equipment. How long is it going to last? What is its usefulness? And are we able to work on it ourselves? Because that's always a key thing, is that we do all of our labor on our own. And for him, it's the pleasure of knowing that he's done the work himself and saved the money doing it. He's got all the bolts out loose now, and we keep plenty of old socks around for rags, so he's wiping it down. Save your money. Use your old Holy t-shirts and socks. Those blue shop towels are a never-ending expense. Yep.
I guess I need to get some more lube on these because those ends have to come off. These will be peened over the new rivets in the shop.
The nice lady doing the filming today happened to remember that we were out of WD-40, and every time I buy a can, it disappears. So I threw one in my shopping cart, and it was getting put to use right away.
Come on!
Now, this guy's pretty strong. You might need an assistant to help you lift this stuff up. Our assistants around here are young, so we have lots and lots of wood blocks. We don't throw away any ends of pieces of wood. So he's having at it, the little arms right here that the bearing is on. To work on that bearing, he's got to get it out of here. So he's taking these bolts out, and that's what he was spraying with that penetrating oil. But the arm post here sticks in there, and they're getting stuck. They don't want to come out. So he has heated them up. Well, as he works, he heats one up to help drive it out. So knowing how to work on your stuff is important. He was telling me a story earlier about somebody that he knew that every time something broke on their baler, they would just go trade it in and go buy another one. So if you did that forever and ever, you're always just buying new equipment and you're not ever getting ahead on not having a payment. So, like I said, for us, it's important to not have payments on our farm equipment. So we use things that are older or a little smaller. But the financial security of not making those payments is well worth it.